Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anggita Fatiha, and here I would like to give examples of advanced phrases for presenting in English. So, first, stating the goal of your presentation. The phrases are what I intend or plan or hope to do is blah blah blah. And then the reason I'm here today is to talk about blah blah blah. I'm here to say a few words about blah blah blah. And the next is explaining why the topic is relevant. The phrases are this talk should be of particular interest to those of you who blah blah blah. By the end of this afternoon's talk, you'll know how to or you'll be familiar with blah blah blah. What I hope you'll get from my talk or presentation is a clearer view or better idea of blah blah blah. And then you can try to introduce the first topic with phrases like I'd like to begin by drawing your attention to blah blah blah. Let's begin by looking at blah blah blah. After that, you can finish in the topic. The phrases are that's all I want to say about this topic for the time being. So that's the background on blah blah blah. And then continuing with another topic. The phrases are the next point I'd like to talk about is blah blah blah. This leads me directly to my next point, which is blah blah blah. And then don't forget to highlight the information with phrases like as far as I'm concerned, the main issue here is blah blah blah. The significance of this is blah blah blah. I cannot emphasize this strongly enough. And then you can try the paraphrasing by phrases like, in other words, blah blah blah. Put simply, blah blah blah. To put it another way, blah blah blah. And then using common knowledge like as you are all aware blah blah blah, as I'm sure you all know blah blah blah. And then referring to points you mentioned earlier by using phrases like if you remember, I touched upon this point earlier, or as I mentioned or pointed out earlier blah blah blah. And then don't let it digress it with phrases like while we are on the subject of blah blah blah, I'd like to briefly mention blah blah blah. If I can just digress for a moment, blah blah blah. Then getting back to the topic with phrases like coming back to the main point, blah blah blah. Getting back to my main point, blah blah blah. And then after that, you can try to summarize with phrases like finally, let me remind you of the main points we covered or looked at or considered today. Let me briefly summarize the main points. And then last but not least, you can try to conclude with phrases like I'd like to finish with something name of well-known persons once said with relevant and meaningful quote. Or using phrases like let me just finish with a question, then put the thought-provoking question. After you bring the presentation, you can try to thanking the audience and inviting them to ask questions, and you can try to use phrases like thank you very much for being such an attentive audience. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now. Or using a phrase like any question, like that. So that's all about how to using advanced phrases in English for presenting a presentation. And I hope it helps you. So, thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.